So when the instruments made it to Mars and they returned their data, what did y'all think?
We were pretty impressed, really. Weren't we?
Absolutely.
I mean,
by that time we were working on another project. You know, these projects come one after another one. Since I was one of the first employees of the Space Science Lab, I still remember the little inky-tinky, what was it called, Eno or Eco or something like that, a little satellite with a radiation counter in it.
That's ion chambers.
Yeah, with an ion chamber on it that we sent up on it went into orbit just barely, and I think it weighed 16 ounces compared to Sputnik. You know, there was nothing. But 20 years later, they were still working. And,
yeah, Don Pellenin was here at the lab. He was a physicist and a friend of Harry's. And he was the one who built the ionization chambers then. And I'm still friends of his and see him frequently. And he's very proud of the fact that none of his ion chambers ever failed in flight. But he was meticulous in terms of the assembling and testing of his ion chambers.
Well, what did you think about something that you had built going to Mars?
Harry wasn't there for the launch.
I was just going to say that I think the most exciting thing I had, and you were probably there too, is all the effort and work that we had put in this. And we were out there at the site when that thing took off and our instrument was out. You know that. You were there too.
Absolutely.
I mean, that was the most thrilling thing I've ever had happen in my life. To know that you had fabricated something to the best of your ability and that thing was going to go fly by. Very exciting, wasn't it?
It's not quite the same as holding a newborn baby. All three of us have held our newborn sons. And in Harry's case, daughters as well. It's not quite the same, but it's real close. You know, it's intensely exciting and gratifying.
But you remember when we saw this, when it was put through the shaken vibration?
Absolutely.
And you thought, now, how is anything going to stay in alignment when you see this going this and
yeah, the distortion that occurred on this shroud alone was unbelievable. And you would think that something that distorted to that extent would not return back to its original shape. You think it would be permanently deformed. But no, it would come back.
It came back very close.
There it was.
Weaving in the wind.
Exactly.
yeah, weaving in the wind, exactly.
Yeah, that little gold-plated skirt around the top was one of Ken Herr's obsessions at one time. That was quite a nice piece of little work that he came up with there. You can't see it, but the ball joints underneath that isolated from the rest of the instrument was quite a...
Well, that was Weitzman. I thought Weitzman designed those. Did he not?
I don't remember who designed it. I think Ken at one point was trying to get a patent on it, but I don't think they would allow it. Very nicely done. For some reason, I remember this funny little piece here too.
I made. That's a secondary reflector. I made some of those early on. That's actually a relatively easy piece to make.
Hard to polish. Are you talking about the nose cone?
This secondary reflector here.
I polished and I polished.
Did you tell her what a California finish is, Harry?
High polish and deep stretches.
That's the definition of a California finish, which of course is what you're trying to avoid. So the polish is usually brought up in stages. You know, you would have a machine finish to start with, and you would start with 400 grit or some relatively coarse abrasive material, and you work it down until you've achieved a certain degree of surface finish. And then you clean everything meticulously, and you would go to 600 or 500 and then 600 and so on and so forth until you achieve the type of finish, the degree of finish that you're...
And finally end up with lamb's wool, huh?
More or less, pardon?
How would that be done now, the polishing? Still by hand? Or?
Absolutely, yeah, it was all done by hand.
Did you ever use diamond polish on this stuff?
Pardon?
Did you ever use diamond polish on this? Never, huh?
No, I modified 600 paper.
Dead 600, he called it.
Dead 600.
I think Morris did some polishing too. He would take parts on and sit in front of the television set.
You know, I worked on a project after this when I came back to the lab years later, EUVE, which had an ultraviolet, very, very steep angle mirror, you know. And that mirror had to be so precise that it was cut out of the diamond lathe out at the LBL. Well, I guess it's at Livermore, I guess now. That was a really, really amazing mirror. That's one of the mirror. They use that kind of mirror in the neutron satellites, the killer satellites up in the sky.
Well,
it's amazing that still exists.
I think that'd be about beating this cow to death, haven't we?
She didn't go back into my hard drive. Well, I want to congratulate you for the job you've done.
Thank you. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, you've done a beautiful job.
Oh, there's no substitute.
Well, the one thing that I think
people when we contact you.
But it's all by itself. There's a big open ocean here.
Yeah, South Sulu Sea, the Sulu Sea, and then South China Sea on the other side. So it's just all this banana sheet all by itself. And botanically, it's wonderful. And I've never been here. I've been all over the
about 4 years ago. Those two occasions, to Lexington.
This way, and you know where your bone comes out of the
Should pull it out.
I opened beer bottles.
Do they still fly planes in Palestine then?
I got a Swiss Army knife.
And we're not going to micromanage.
So you all know why you're here. This is a fundraising event for the Democratic National Committee. And what we're going to do now is we're going to show you some videos. But first of all, I want to take this opportunity to thank Jean for an elegant party. She's done an excellent job. And Laurel, too. Laurel's done a fantastic job. And what we're going to see now is the film called The Martian Investigators.
But I think that now is open is whether you should look again. Just because you know a distant encounter you don't see. But you're going to want to look again. May I finish, please? My point? Because we haven't so much time.
Murray breaks the stalemate. He agrees to Pimentel's request for Mariner 6. In exchange, Murray and the picture team will have the right to aim Mariner 7.
The problem is there's no probable to what could have done what currently happened. And these all have natural tendency that our gas bottles, because they're capable of doing it now. Right, and we'll probably be back sometime tomorrow. I suppose the mail's about a foot deep, huh? Well, after Mariner 7 arrival, I may want to go to Russia. Here, DC.
The moment of truth tell will be not the two channel RS are cooling. A temperature drop will be the first indication we're not responsible for 7's troubles.
Number 1.